So in the last episode, we went over the first 10 setups that received the seal of approval. So if you guys missed that video, pause this video and go watch that first. That way you're all caught up, because in this video, we're gonna be going over the next 10 setups that got the seal. So numbers 11 through 20. For those who are new to the channel, I give out this very special custom-made plaque to setups who meet the 5 criteria. It's a very rare award that I don't hand out lightly. And to kind of give you guys an idea how difficult it is to receive it, I have shown 985 setups on Setup Wars as of today, and only 24 people have received it so far. So yeah, with that said, welcome to Setup Wars Seal of Approval Edition number 2. Let the show begin. Hey guys, I'm super excited to share the sponsor of this video because I know some of you are gonna love it. It's Filmora, a professional video editing program that costs a fraction of what the big guys charge. It is one of the easiest programs I have used to edit videos. In fact, this entire video of Setup Wars was edited on Filmora 9. And the best part is you don't have to have any experience in editing. It's that easy to learn. It also provides a lot of really cool features like 4K video support, stabilization, professional 3D LUTs, and advanced color grading to control the colors of your video. Guys, my editing program doesn't even have that. I absolutely love how much control I have for color grading. I mean, this changes things. On top of that, it offers so many cool effects, transitions, and extra features that honestly puts my program to shame. If you guys have always been wanting to get into video editing but found it too difficult or expensive, then you should definitely try out Filmora 9. They even have a trial, so definitely give it a shot, guys. I mean, what do you got to lose? If you do end up loving it, you can buy the full version for only $69.99. It's a one-time payment and you can own the program for life. So check it out by clicking the link down below and start creating content today. So we left at seal number 11, which went to Nathan from episode 114 and his gorgeous ultra white setup. This was one of the first white theme setups that I've seen done really well on the show. I mean, just look at the symmetry. Let's be honest here, nobody uses 2 coasters in their setup, right? We all use 1, but Nathan uses 2 just for symmetry. He was also very dedicated to the color scheme. Every single piece of gear he owned was either white or black, from his gaming PC to his speakers, headset, chair, and even skinned his Dell laptop in white carbon fiber. And if white is too bland for you guys, well, he's even got some RGB to spice it up. A well-rounded, clean, and balanced setup with great cable management is why Nathan took home the 11th seal of approval. Well done. Who could forget about Zach's setup from episode 122? This was one of the first setups that I've seen that had a wall-mounted PC, but that wasn't why he got the seal. What blew my mind was the fact that he not only custom built that wooden backdrop that's against the wall, but it actually opens up, allowing him to hide all the cables behind that. On top of that, the setup was super unique, symmetrical, and color coordinated very well. Even till this day, I'm not sure why Zach framed his acoustic panels, but it looks pretty dope in the setup. 2 years later, he came back on the show with an improved setup. He got more monitors, upgraded his PC, and he redid his entire wall with more acoustic panels. Hell, he even added more acoustic panels on his cabinets. What really caught my attention at first, though, was the placement of the speakers. Definitely the first time I've seen them mounted sideways like that. But hey, it does work since it's technically positioned directly at him. Such an improvement over the last setup. If I could give him another seal of approval, this setup would have gone 1 too. Although I think the setup would have looked cooler if the plaque was displayed somewhere on there. So this next setup actually has a funny story. So John came on the show for episode 114 with this custom black and red setup in the hopes of winning the seal of approval, but he didn't end up winning because it didn't meet all 5 criteria. And he told me after the show that he was kind of bummed. So what did John do next, you might ask? Well, he didn't give up. He came back literally 6 months later with an improved setup. One of my all-time absolute favorite setups even till today. Not because he's into Dragon Ball Z like I am, but because of his determination in winning that seal. I mean, he took my recommendations from the video and he came back strong, building an even better setup. It's got a custom backboard, custom wall shelves, and just the attention to detail it now has blew my mind. He even built a custom acrylic raceway with a Corsair RGB strip inside to hide all the cables from the setup. Exceptional cable management, symmetry, and a beast custom PC to go with it, which he mounted against the backboard. I mean, this goes to show that you shouldn't give up on your dreams just because it doesn't work out the first time. Well done, John. 2018 was definitely the year that had the best setups on the show. This setup in particular from Epsy is definitely in my top 3. As soon as I downloaded the pictures and checked them out, my jaw dropped and I had to have it stitched back up. Not only have I never seen a setup this unique, but I've never seen something so beautifully executed in my life. It took Epsy a whole 5 months to design and build this setup from scratch, and all of that hard work didn't go unnoticed because he took home the 14th seal of approval. You really have to go back and watch the full video to appreciate all the attention to detail that has been put into this immaculate setup. You know, from the custom acoustic panels made out of wood, to the amazing ultra-wide custom desk, the drop-down 135-inch projector screen that literally comes out of nowhere, and his insane Threadripper SLI build. The list goes on and on. One of the things that drew my attention to this was the supreme symmetry going on here. It even made Thanos look unbalanced. A well-deserved setup for the seal, hands down. This was definitely an episode you guys have to watch if you missed it. Seal number 15 went to David from episode 151, mostly because of the creativity that went behind this setup. This dude designed an entire room to work with his VR setup. He installed a pulley system on the ceiling to hold up his VR headset, which is simply genius. This way he can move around freely without having to worry about tripping over the cables or having the cables wrap up around him. Of course, that wasn't all. He also has a beautiful quad display setup, which he used for gaming, developing, and editing. I just love how he's able to fit 4 monitors in that tight space by positioning them in a way where it's very useful for him. I also like the location of his PC. He made a hole in the wall big enough to display it, but unfortunately, the back is facing the setup. Looking back, I guess a simple fix to this would have been to build in a case that can be inverted. That way the side panel is facing the setup. But either way, it was well put together with creativity and symmetry, definitely worthy of a seal. Episode 152 was a very interesting episode to say the least because it featured Pirate Gamer's original setup, which I'm sure a lot of you guys remember. It was one of the most popular episodes with over 1 million views, but he didn't take home the seal of approval because it just didn't impress me as much as I wanted it to. I'm sure there's a lot of gear and money that went into this setup. His entire man cave was impressive to say the least, but I just didn't feel like it was seal worthy. It just felt like someone had a lot of money and decided to populate his entire room with any red or black gear he can find. There was no synergy between the gear or the setup he built. It's the very same reason why Yazi didn't receive the seal of approval from episode 36, and everyone came after me with pitchforks. Choosing gear solely based on their color or aesthetic shouldn't be a priority if the product is bad. Simple as that. So who got the seal of approval from episode 152? Well, it was Yutto and his budget setup. This setup over here, guys, is a prime example that you don't need money to win the seal of approval. Something I often read about in the comment section. It comes down to meeting the 5 criteria. Sure, money definitely helps, but it's not required. I absolutely fell in love with how Yutto designed the entire wall and made it blend perfectly with his monitor wallpapers. That is just insane. He used painted styrofoam to decorate the walls and he outlined it with green glow-in-the-dark marker so it looks just as badass at night. Some people might think it's a bit too much, but personally I think if you're gonna do something this crazy, you gotta go all out. And man, did he go all out. That's not even the cool part. This setup is actually powered by a laptop. And guess where the laptop is? That's right, it's behind the monitors. The creativity and dedication that went into the setup while staying on a tight budget is what convinced me to give him the 16th seal of approval. Well done. Episode 166 was also an interesting one as well because it featured John's setup. Remember the one with 1 million Nanoleaf panels? Well, once again, people were shocked that he didn't take home the seal. I think people always mistake super cool looking expensive setups to win seal of approvals when that is far from the case. If that were the case, then I would have given out at least 100 plaques at this point. No doubt it was a jaw-dropping, ball-sweating setup, but the seal actually went to Benjamin instead. There was definitely better balance and synergy in this setup with the right amount of personalization. The wood countertop surprisingly went really well with the Razer gear and the green LEDs, not to mention his insane wall-mounted PC that caught me off guard. His entire room is practically a wet dream for gamers. Speaking of wet dreams, I think we can all agree that Pirate Gamer's improved setup made us all go and cry in a corner. That feeling when only his Nanoleaf collection costs more than your entire setup. Pirate Gamer spent about a month rebuilding his entire gaming room. The planning and designing that went into this was seriously insane. Like, I don't think an actual interior decorator can design something this epic. There's just too much to talk about, so it's better to watch the video instead. But I think we can all see the reason why he won the seal of approval this second time around. The improvements he made were night and day. Everything in the room has its very own dedicated place, and nothing seems overdone or forced like his last setup. That episode was also the first time the new plaque was introduced. It's now made out of real glass and a granite base, so it's pretty heavy, weighing a little over 2 pounds. The 19th seal of approval went to Adam's upgraded setup because the first one didn't quite make the cut. I mean, it was an awesome setup overall, but there were some questionable choices that docked a few points, like why go with an Apple wireless keyboard and mouse for a gaming setup? That made absolutely no sense to me. However, he did come back a year and a half later swinging and knocked my head right off my shoulders with such an improved setup. You can definitely tell that he put more effort this time around, and look, he finally got gaming peripherals for a gaming setup. Some of the things I really loved about this new setup was the custom Zelda Guardian swords that he put up in between the paintings and the really clever Nanoleaf placements. But the biggest upgrade from his last setup was the PC. It's no longer being powered by a laptop, and he built himself his first custom PC. Well done. Of course, who can forget about Andrew from episode 186, who wrote a novel for his notes and nearly caused me to die of old age. His first setup with the teacher desk didn't really impress me, so he applied for Setup Wars again after he moved into his new apartment, and boy oh boy, did he make some nice improvements. What caught my attention at first was the wall decoration that he made with the help of some painter's tape, but what really impressed me was all the little programming mods he integrated with the setup. For example, talking to Google Voice to control the lighting of his entire setup. The symmetry, organization, creativity, and being an admin on the Discord server are the reasons why I gave Andrew the 20th seal of approval. Well done, Andrew, and I can't wait to see what you're working on now. And that wraps up this episode. As always, make sure to drop a like if you guys enjoyed the show, and let me know in the comment section which of these setups was the absolute best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.